When my grandmother ordered a cappuccino with cinnamon at our weekly cafe meetup, I knew something was catastrophically wrong. Nana had been ordering the same drink for 11 years. Black coffee, no sugar, no exceptions. She was a creature of habit, a retired literature professor who valued consistency above all else. When I was 14, she taught me a code after watching too many true crime documentaries. If she ever ordered anything with milk or flavoring, something was seriously wrong and I shouldn't react visibly. We'd laughed about it then, calling it our spy protocol. She'd never used it once in 16 years. Every Sunday at 3 p.m., we'd meet at a cafe downtown. She'd arrive exactly on time, order her black coffee, and we'd discuss books for 2 hours. Last Sunday, she walked in 7 minutes late. Her normally perfect silver hair looked uncombed. She wore the same cardigan she'd worn on Wednesday when I'd stopped by her house. At the counter, she hesitated before ordering. "I'll have a cappuccino with cinnamon, please." My stomach dropped, but I kept my face neutral and ordered my usual tea. We sat at our regular table by the window. Nana kept glancing at her phone, something she never did during our time together. Her hands shook slightly as she lifted her untouched cappuccino. "How's the book club?" I asked carefully. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, wonderful. Just wonderful." She'd quit book club 6 months ago. I felt cold spreading through my chest. "And how's your neighbor, Mrs. Powell?" Nana's face went blank for just a second. "She's very well." Mrs. Powell had moved to Arizona in March. She wasn't just using the code. Someone had coached her on what to say. I pulled out my phone, pretending to check messages, and texted my brother. "At cafe with Nana. Something wrong. Come now." Within seconds. 15 minutes away. Nana leaned forward suddenly. "I need to use the restroom." She stood, leaving her phone on the table, screen up. It buzzed immediately. A text from a number saved as Home Healthcare Margaret. "How's the visit going? Remember what we discussed about your cognitive evaluation?" My hands went ice cold. I opened the message thread. Dozens of texts. This Margaret had been communicating with Nana for 3 weeks, discussing memory issues, declining capacity, and residential care options. But Nana's memory was perfect. She'd just quoted Dostoevsky from memory on Wednesday. The most recent messages made my blood run cold. "Don't mention our conversations to your grandchildren. They'll overreact and make things harder. This is about getting you the care you need." I screenshotted everything and sent it to my brother just as Nana returned. She reached for her phone anxiously, saw me holding it, and her whole face crumpled. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Margaret said you'd try to interfere with my treatment. She said I'm forgetting things and need supervised care. She has a place picked out. I sign papers tomorrow." "Nana, what memory issues? You quoted Dostoevsky perfectly 2 days ago." She looked confused and frightened, but Margaret showed me examples, times I'd repeated myself, appointments I'd missed. My brother burst through the cafe door, assessed the situation instantly from my expression. I showed him the phone. His face went dark. "Nana, who is Margaret?" "She's the healthcare consultant the hospital recommended after my physical last month." My brother and I exchanged looks. "What hospital visit?" She blinked rapidly. "The one where they found the early dementia." "Nana, you haven't had a physical in 6 months. I drove you to that appointment. Dr. Ferguson said you were healthier than patients half your age." Understanding crashed over Nana's face like a wave, followed immediately by horror. She called me, said she was from the hospital, had my patient number, my doctor's name, my insurance information. She knew about my hip replacement from 2019. My brother was already dialing. "This is elder fraud. They get hospital data breaches and target seniors." I pulled up the residential care facility Margaret had recommended. Hundreds of reviews from families who'd almost lost their elderly relatives to scams. The care costs would have drained Nana's entire retirement account before anyone realized the facility didn't exist. Nana grabbed my hand, her grip surprisingly strong. "The papers I'm signing tomorrow." Margaret said they're just care authorization forms. My brother looked at the texts again. "They're financial power of attorney documents. The moment you sign, they drain your accounts." Nana's face cycled through emotions. Shock, horror, shame, then pure fury. This woman who'd taught literature for 40 years, who'd raised 4 kids alone after Grandpa died, who'd survived the depression and could spot a con artist in any novel, had almost fallen for this. "That clever bitch," she said finally, her professor voice returning. "She used my own intelligence against me, made me feel like I was being proactive about my health." We called the police from the cafe. Officer Barnes arrived within 20 minutes, and Nana's rage turned into precise, devastating testimony. She remembered every detail of every conversation with Margaret because her memory was perfect. The detective who joined us 40 minutes later said Nana's documentation might help break open a multi-state elder fraud ring. That Sunday, we canceled the signing. Police traced Margaret to a fraud operation running out of 3 states. Nana filed a report, froze her credit, and changed all her passwords. The next Sunday, she ordered black coffee at exactly 3 p.m. "I taught you that code as a joke," she said. "Never thought I'd need it, but you remembered, and you trusted it." I squeezed her hand. "Spy protocol stays active." She smiled, real this time. "Damn right it does."